Hey, what's up guys, Totallydubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the AOC Q2778VQE. This is a 27-inch 1440p display that runs at 60Hz whilst having a response time of 1 milliseconds. This is due to it having a TN display rather than an IPS or PLS. It can be found for £260 to £280. I couldn't find any Amazon links, but you can find it on the World Wide Web. So first of all, it's build quality and the inputs and outputs. So I've taken a picture from Digital Trends over here. You might be able to see, it might be a little bit dark, but it'll give you a general idea. You've got DisplayPort, VGA, DVI, HDMI, and audio in and out via 3.5mm jacks. Very simple nowadays to have those inputs, but it's good to see all the inputs there in this monitor. Next up, the actual stand and the build quality. Now the stand I wasn't a big fan of, mainly due to its fact that it's got a lot of, it's a fingerprint magnet. Due to its glossy finish, it really does leave behind a lot of fingerprints, but the main thing for me is actually how the stand copes with the 27-inch screen. And unfortunately I found that it is a little bit weak when coming to shake around the monitor. I don't expect people to be shaking around, but it does look like a bit of a spring action going on there. Anyway, the stand itself can be tilted, but it can't be rotated or anything like that. Moving on to the bezels. Now the bezels have a similar sort of high gloss finish. It is nice to look at, but when it comes to practice in terms of if you were to touch it, then it would look quite cheap. So it's really up to you, but personally I'm not a fan of the high gloss finish and the plastic that's used. Moving on to the button placement. Now, button placement is a small thing to mention, but in this case, I just thought I should mention it because it just felt a little bit weird. I'm just zooming in there, you won't be able to see the buttons which are under there. But you can see in my hand, this is where the buttons are placed, rather than over here, which feels kind of not really that natural to me, because normally you turn off a monitor, you just press over here. Here it's just in the middle somewhat. So it feels a little bit weird, so I don't know what AOC were thinking there, but anyway, this is the case with this monitor. The on-screen display itself is quite well done. It's as all AOC monitors have been in past. It just pops up and you've got all different types of options there that you can go through. Now onto its picture quality. So obviously the picture quality is something that's quite important to me, especially as this is a TN display. I don't expect it to have that amazing picture quality, but I was actually reasonably surprised. Its picture quality was decent, although at certain viewing angles the colors started getting washed out, and I've got to say, in comparison to a PLS and TN display, its contrast ratio wasn't as great. So in this image, for example, you can see you've got nice blue colors, and it kind of shifts from a darker blue to a lighter blue. Well, it looks a little bit more washed out on this TN panel versus my IPS or PLS panels. As I continue, you'll be able to see the colors really popping out over here. In this image, you can see a lot of color throughout the whole image, and this is really well displayed on this TN panel. So in terms of colors, I was impressed, but in terms of contrast ratio, which is to be expected from a TN panel, I was not so impressed. This is to be expected from a TN panel, and it's nothing really you can do apart from actually going from IPS to PLS panel, but it's just something I should mention, just because gamers might be looking out for having a good, pleasant experience, whilst also looking at a screen that really does look beautiful. I can say that I'll be comfortable using this monitor, but obviously as I use a PLS day to day, I felt that it felt like a downgrade in terms of image quality. But what about its response time? So obviously it's a 1 millisecond response time, so that's very important for gamers out there. And what else better to do than launch up some CSGO and then test it on CSGO. Now the response time itself was actually quite good, although I did notice a slight lag, a little bit. It just doesn't feel as fluid as other, say, 1080p monitors I've reviewed, not 1440p, but as in comparison to other 1080p models that I've reviewed that had TN panels, I felt that this one was just a little bit less responsive in that respect. So it's just something that I noted when gaming. It just seemed a little bit weird, but anyway, all I'm trying to say is that it is a little bit slow in terms of responding, but it's faster than your average monitor out there. I was comfortable playing CSGO and very much happy. And again, you can see over here, if you look, the colors really do come out. So if you just look over here, the colors over here on this train over here look really, really nice, and they really do come out very well. So overall, I was very much impressed with that. And as I said before, in terms of looking at colors, you know, they come out pretty damn good. So overall, this monitor is very good in terms of its offering. At £280, it makes it quite affordable as well. I must say that I would have preferred it being around £200 personally, but at 1440p with 1 millisecond response time, you can expect it to be around that sort of price range. Due to its having good inputs and a decent color reproduction for a TN panel, I can definitely say I could recommend this for some gamers that are looking for 1440p at 60 Hz. I should mention that I did try overclocking this monitor, and it wouldn't go past 60 Hz without skipping frames. So it did go to 80 Hz or 85 Hz, I think it was. But as soon as it did that, it started skipping frames, and when it starts skipping frames, that means that the overclock hasn't really been successful. So do bear that in mind as well. So there we go, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review. If you have, make sure you give it a nice thumbs up. Do subscribe if you want to see more, favorite and share if you thought this video was helpful or will be helpful for other people that you have, so friends and family. And on top of that, let me know in the comments below what you think about the monitor, or what you think about the panel type, or my review as it is. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Take care. Bye bye.